Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Built our lives and made our homes. Help them as leaders to not ask, how do we fix this, but what do we need to learn? How might we need to change? To whom do we need to listen? Remind them and all of us the importance of listening to one another, to understanding one another. Remind them that they are not only leaders, but also servants, and that it is their responsibility and ours to serve the common good of all people. Remind them that no matter where we live, no matter where we're from, no matter the color of our skin, no matter how we identify ourselves, no matter who we love, no matter what we believe in and value, no matter our politics and ideologies, everyone is our neighbor. Everyone is our sibling, our brother, our sister. And that throughout the ages, prophets have called the leaders of the people to respect and protect the least of those among us. Children, elderly, poor, hungry, homeless, sick, the stranger, the immigrant, the marginalized, those who are alone, those who are forgotten. Grant them and us the wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May they and we speak out when it is time to speak out, and listen patiently and receptively when it is time to listen. May they and we always be guided by the spirit of community, a spirit of justice, a spirit of love, and the spirit of life. This we pray in the name of all that we hold sacred and holy, all that is good and right and true. May it be so. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, if you guys can join me down there, we're going to have a couple presentations. All right, if we could first have Marni Sanders, please, if you'll join us down here for a presentation. You got a long day today. All right, so we have a resolution for Marni K. Sanders, inspiring and growing the business community. Whereas Marni K. Sanders was the executive director of the Yuba-Sutter Chamber of Commerce for nearly 5 years, from 2018 to the winter of 2022. And whereas during her leadership, the Chamber of Commerce has served as an important source of information for its members, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic that threatened the livelihoods of many small businesses. And whereas during her leadership, the chamber members grew and the business community emerged from the pandemic more organized with her a stronger voice, and whereas during her leadership, the chamber has hosted informational events connecting the business community with local government leaders, social workers, and law enforcement officers who work to mitigate the impact of homelessness. And whereas during her leadership, the chamber reinstates the annual 9-month leadership program to immerse emerging leaders into the myriad facets of how the community works, and institutes a Yuba-Sutter the commission to attract the movie-making industry to our area. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Sutter County Board of Supervisors causes the names of each of its members to be affixed to the gold resolution as advised of the board's individuals and collective appreciation for Marni K. Sanders' success at the Yuba-Sutter Chamber of Commerce, and for accepting another leadership role in the community as Executive Director of the Blue Zone's Healthy Living Project. Let's give her a round of applause.
Well, I just really want to thank you for your recognition, and but most of all, this wasn't Marni Sanders doing this. This was a community-led effort at the Chamber of Commerce with leaders like yourselves, with our new leaders at the Chamber, our ambassadors, and some of them are here today. It's all of us together doing this work, and the people. I know all the people in this room care about this community equally, so I accept this on behalf of everybody who's put the effort in to build up our community. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody. We have the ambassadors. Sorry, Michelle Downing, if you please join us. Goofy with that on. Yep. Yeah, I expect yours on. Okay. Where's yours? Where's yours? All right. So here we are. Yep. So the proclamation that we're going to present to Michelle is for Child Abuse Prevention Month, April 2023. Whereas the tragedy of child abuse and neglect affects every community in California and touches the lives of far too many citizens, regardless of cultural, ethnic, religious, socioeconomic level. And whereas the threat to our children's welfare is demonstrated by steady increases in the number and in the seriousness of reported causes of child abuse and neglect. And whereas if our children are to be productive adults, they should have the right to a childhood free from neglect, physical abuse, sexual molestation, and exploitation. Whereas it is recognized that primary prevention programs designed to work with children themselves, their parents, and their caregivers within the community are successful in preventing first-time abuse situations. And whereas early identification and intervention are essential to successfully interrupting the generational cycle of abuse and neglect, collaboration among professional, concerned parents, volunteers, and policymakers can help reduce the level of child abuse and neglect to our communities. And whereas dedicated volunteers and professionals are working to decrease the incidence of child abuse through prevention programs and coordination among agencies delivering services to child abuse victims and their families. And whereas the observance of Child Abuse Prevention Month provides an excellent opportunity for all citizens to reflect on the tragic crime while rededicating themselves to taking an active role in the child abuse prevention activities in their community. Now, therefore, the Sutter County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim April 2023 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the County of Sutter, and encourages all residents to join with local community efforts in keeping all children safe, strong, and free.
Thank you. And thank you to the Board of Supervisors for recognizing the month of, oh, you showed up late. There you go. Anyways, thank you for the turban, huh? No? Awesome. Thank you for recognizing the month of April as Child Abuse Awareness and Neglect. We have lots of community members and agencies that are standing behind this effort and bringing awareness to our community, and we can do it. We can. We have them all join us for a photo? 100%. But before that, I did do something that's unprecedented. So even though it's funny, you guys, pinwheel is the symbol of child abuse, and I hope you wear it along with your pin, and remember that we're all in it together.
Not invite all them up for. We'll show the video after the photo. Let's do the photo.
So while everybody's coming up here, I'd just like to say that this is a critical issue, that children who are abused tend to be more likely to be abusers, which creates this to become a multi-generational problem. And people need to be aware of that, and it's just such a huge issue with children. They need to get off to a good start. And with child abuse, their chances of succeeding in life are much greatly reduced. Thank you.
Now, do we leave this on through the whole meeting? Or? Yeah? Oh. Because I'm late, I got the bad shirt. Is that what happened? Thanks.
At Casa de Esperanza, it takes the whole organization, our donors, supporters, board members, staff, and volunteers to help individuals and families build safe, stable lives and achieve their highest potential. Casa de Esperanza offers a 24-hour crisis line, domestic violence recovery program, an emergency shelter, counseling center, sexual assault program, and case management to those affected by domestic violence, sexual assault, child abuse, and sex trafficking in Yuba-Sutter and Colusa County. Get involved today. Visit our website and click on Get Involved to see how you can help.
Michelle Blake, please join us, please. And team. All right. So we have a proclamation for the month of the young child, April 2023. Whereas there are over 7,000 children birthed through age 5 living within Sutter County, and whereas the Sutter County Children and Families Commission is celebrating the Week of the Young Child throughout April, and whereas high quality early care and education can help alleviate the effects of poverty, detect and remedy delays, identify and help prevent neglect, and lead to positive outcomes, helping children to be better prepared for school and more likely to succeed. And whereas the participation in quality early care and education saves taxpayers' dollars, makes working families more economically secure, and prepares children to succeed in school, earn higher wages, and live healthier lives. And whereas over the past 20 years, Sutter County Children and Families Commission has had the forefront supporting early childhood services, advocating for policy change, and supporting the professional capacity of providers, serving thousands of families and investing over $26 million in the local community. Wow. Whereas it is important to recognize and support the people, programs, and policies committed to high-quality early childhood education and care. Now, therefore, the Sutter County Board of Supervisors do hereby join colleagues, friends, and families as they celebrate the mission of the Sutter County Children and Families Commission in proclaiming April as the month of the young child and its ongoing commitment to stabilize, sustain, and support child care and early learning through the pandemic crisis, recovery, and beyond. In witness whereof I, Carm Baines, Chairman of the Board of Supervisors, here unto set his hand and cause the official seal of the Board of Supervisors to affix this 18th day of April, 2023. That's pretty cool.
On behalf of Sutter County Children and Families Commission and all of our wonderful community providers that love and support children 0 to 5 years of age, thank you, Honorable Board, for recognizing early childhood education and care. Investing in young children provides a brighter future for us all. With appreciation, thank you.
Speaking of that, the library helped us out also. Hey, by the way, he's like he's up here reading many novels.
One thing I want to say about this group, amazing group. First of all, remember not too long ago we had the formula crisis, and Michelle Blake and her team went into overdrive in that and really pulled it together to help those families that couldn't find formula. And the same thing with diapers year-round, car seat programs, the Dolly Parton reading, yes, which my kids have all taken part of. It's absolutely amazing what this group does for this community.
We have one last presentation that was going to go to our district attorney, Jen Dupree. Someone's here from her office. All right, we have a proclamation. You want to open this? All right, National Crime Victims' Rights Week, April 23rd through the 29th of 2023. Whereas the term victim is more than a label and has legal standing and protections that go a long way with it. Whereas Crime Victims' Rights Acts passed here in the state of California and at the federal level guarantee victims the right to meaningfully participate and use their voices in the criminal justice process. And whereas victim service providers, advocates, law enforcement officers, attorneys, and other affiliated professionals can help survivors find their justice by enforcing their rights. And whereas the right to provide an impact statement ensures the victim's voices are considered in court during the sentencing and with applicable restitution processes, and whereas including and evaluating the voices of survivors makes certain that they are heard and seen and creates a path to forging and sustaining community trust And whereas engaging survivors creates responses and services that are credible, meaningful, and centered on individual needs, and whereas survivors' lived experiences can serve as a catalyst for the implementing innovative programs, shifting existing programs in new directions, and changing policies or practices that prevent or restrict survivors from accessing services or pursuing justice. And whereas National Crime Victims' Rights Week provides an opportunity to recommit to listening to crime survivors in every space where decisions are made that could impact them, and whereas Sutter County is hereby dedicated to amplifying the voices of survivors and creating an environment where survivors have the confidence that they will be heard, believed, and supported. Now, therefore, the Sutter County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim the week of April 23rd through 29th, 2023 as Crime Victims' Rights Week, reaffirming Sutter County's commitment to creating a victim service and criminal justice response that assists with all victims of crimes during Crime Victims Week and throughout the year, and expressing our sincere gratitude and appreciation for those community members, victim service providers, and criminal justice professionals who are committed to improving our response to all victims of crimes so that they may find relevant assistance, support, justice, and peace. Signed by Carmen Baines, County Chair. Sure?
You sure?
On behalf of the District Attorney's Office, we just want to thank the board for recognizing this important week. Every day, there are victims in Sutter County that are being served, and we couldn't do all the hard work without our partner agencies and without the help of Sutter County professionals who are helping us do our job. And especially to our victim services staff. Just so you guys know, last year in 2022, victim services advocates provided over 25,000 services to victims of crime in Sutter County. So you may not know who they are or see them, but they are working really hard to serve this community. So thank you.
All right, public comment. Members of the public will be allowed to address the board on items of interest that the public have they're within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors. State law provides that no discussion or action may be taken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. Public comment. We do have 3 cards. So first, public comment, Liz Cervantes.
Hello, supervisors, honorable chair. Today, Ziegenmeyer wins the prize because he kept his little thing on the longest. And you know what, Carm? That was a great look for you, pal. And also, I'd just like to say something about you, Carm. Did you ever think you were going to ever have so much reading to do? All right, so... No, I mean, he's killing it, honestly. I told Diane, he's doing a great job. So, my public comment is, I know this is going to be a short meeting, and you know how I know that? Because the city council needs their chambers tonight. But did you know we have our own chambers? We do. And if we just went back there, we wouldn't have to share with the city. We wouldn't have to pay them any rental amounts. We should think about that. Okay? Yeah? I would like to say that today I identify as a proud member of District 5. And, I think that as a community, we need to heal. And I would like for you 5 to rely on your communities, your constituents, We're here to support you, even though it doesn't always sound like that. We really are, because we all love Sutter County. If we didn't, we wouldn't be here, right? So, you know, lean on us. We got big shoulders, and some of us have really wide hips, but that's a story for another day. Thank you.
Next speaker, Martha Ruiz.
Hola, mi nombre es Marta Ruiz, soy proveedora del IHS de Yuba City, presidenta del distrito de UDW. He sido cuidadora durante más de 12 años, actualmente cuido a mis padres de la tercera edad. Sin embargo, mis padres tienen la suerte porque afortunadamente puedo cuidarlos. Hay más de 1,300 personas mayores y personas con discapacidades en el condado de Sutter que simplemente no tienen la atención que necesitan. Son más de 80,000 horas de atención de trabajo durante que uno no cumple cada año porque nuestra fuerza laboral no puede satisfacer las necesidades de nuestra comunidad debido a los salarios tan bajos. El condado de Sutter está fallando en reconocer la crisis de atención a largo plazo y el primer paso más fácil es pagar a los proveedores un salario digno con beneficios sólidos para que podamos cuidar a nosotros mismos y a nuestras familias. Mientras que cuidamos a quienes nos necesitan es en nuestra comunidad. Como saben, actualmente estamos en medio de negociaciones para nuevos contratos con el condado y francamente no nos respetan en la mesa de negociaciones. Nos han ofrecido 25 centavos de aumento por nuestro trabajo de salvar vidas y eso es simplemente irrazonable e irritante. Nos sentimos frustrados, invisibles y no escuchados, pero esperemos que hagan el esfuerzo de trabajar con nosotros en buena fe para trabajar y superar las décadas de negligencia que han enfrentado tanto los proveedores del IHSS como nuestros clientes. Seremos la brecha en atención a trabajadores juntos con un condado de Sutter mejor y más fuerte para todos. Gracias.
And then I'm going to translate on behalf of Martha. Hi, my name is Martha, and I'm an IHSS provider from Yuba City and UDW District Chair. I've been a caregiver for over 12 years, and I currently take care of my elderly parents. My parents are lucky, though, because thankfully I'm able to provide care for them. There are over 1,300 seniors and people living with disabilities in Sutter County who simply do not have the care they need. That's over 81,000 hours of care, of painstaking work that go unmet every year because our workforce cannot meet the needs of our community due to our lacking wages. Sutter County is failing to keep up with the long-term care crisis, and the easiest first step is to pay providers a living wage with solid benefits so that we can care for ourselves and our families while also caring for those who need us in our communities. As you know, we are currently in the middle of negotiations for a new contract with the county. And quite frankly, we've been disrespected at the bargaining table. We've been offered a quarter raise for our life-saving work, and that's simply unreasonable and hurtful. We feel frustrated, unseen, and unheard, but we hope you make the effort to truly work with us in good faith to try to bridge the decades of blatant neglect that both IHSS providers and our clients have faced. Let's bridge the gap in care and work together for a stronger, better Sutter County for all. Thank you.
Next speaker card is Tony Farley.
Test. I'm Tony Farley from South UC, South Sutter County here. Thank everybody. Today's Steve's birthday. A birthday boy. He's 20 years old, man. Went to the university. He drives a new, awesome car. And thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, sir, the sheriff, the deputy sheriff over there, born 80s. He's a millennial or millennial. There's under sheriffs, two-star under sheriff Scott Smallwood. There's fire chief, minus the Pawn Star guy. And there's Zachary Hamble, minus Jesse Alexander, police chief of fire chief of Yuba City. And Liz Dantes. Liz Dantes, you're funny. Liz Dantes, you're funny. You're welcome. Thank you for your service, all of you. I salute you. The government salutes.
Thank you, Tony. We were going to wait until later, but I guess we'll embarrass you now. So if everybody will please join me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Steve. Happy birthday to you.
Good morning, boy.
Speech.
Like Tony mentioned, I'm happy that it's my 20th birthday and just going to celebrate in style.
All right, we're going to move on to the consent calendar. The consent calendar groups together.
Through the chair, I'm sorry. Before everybody leaves, could you guys stick around for a second? Is that okay? Just for a quick statement? Well, they're going to be gone. It's in regards to them, to the in-home care.
No, we can't engage in discussion since it was not an agendized item.
It's just a statement.
You can make a statement during the reports.
That's fine. Okay.
I'm sorry. So the consent calendar groups together items which are considered non-controversial or for prior policy directions have been given to staff and that require only routine action.
He asked them to stay. So? He asked them to stay.
So, I didn't. So the directions, okay, well, you guys got me here. I'm going to start over. So the consent calendar groups together those items which are considered non-controversial or for which prior policy direction has been given to staff and that require only routine action by the board. The chair will advise the audience that matters may be adopted in total by one motion. However, the board may, at its option or upon request of a member of the public, consider any matter separately. The consent today consists of items 1 through 13.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmeyer? Aye. Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
All right, so I'd like to at this time adjourn the Board of Supervisors and convene as the Waterworks District number 1 Board of Directors meeting. We can have a roll call, please.
Director McKelly?
Here.
Director Flores?
Present.
Director Ziegenmeyer? Here. Director Baines?
Present.
Director Conant?
Present. Public comment. Members of the public will be allowed to address the Waterworks District 1 Board of Directors on items of interest to the public that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. State law provides that no action may be taken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. I've seen no public comment cards. We have, we'll go to the consent calendar. And items 1 and 2.
Second.
You want to give a presentation? Is he going to present on 1 and 2?
That's right. No, never mind.
He did move to approve.
No.
Huh?
No, there is no presentation on
Okay,
this
that's fine.
item.
So it's been moved and seconded. That roll call vote, please.
Director McKelly?
Aye.
Director Flores?
Aye.
Director Ziegenmeyer? Aye. Director Baines?
Aye.
Director Conant?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. At this time, we're going to adjourn the Waterworks District 1 Board of Directors meeting and reconvene as a Board of Supervisors. We're on appearance items, item number 15.
Excuse me, Chair, would you like the roll call to stand?
Yes, please.
Item 15, adoption of a resolution in support of Reclamation District 1500's application for funding from the Natural Resources Conservation Service to modernize the Karnak drainage facility.
Does Roger want to do his presentation first?
What did you? What was that?
Yes.
Does he want to do it over there because he's doing a PowerPoint?
Either location will work. If you'd like to give it there, I can do the slideshow for you.
I can come over there.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Board of Supervisors, for taking this time. My name is Roger Cornwell, and I'm here to talk to you today about a proclamation of support for Reclamation District 1500, the modernization of Karnak Pumping Plant. And just a little bit about who Reclamation District 1500 is in case you are unfamiliar. We are about a 70,000 acre district on the south end of Sutter County, bordering up against the town of Knights Landing in Yolo County. And this is a picture of the Karnak facility that we're looking to update. And here is kind of a map of where we are located, just south of the town of Robbins. That we have three main reasons that, three big points that we want to highlight for why we went after the NRCS grant and why we're asking for this proclamation. One is really health and human safety. Highway 113 runs right through the middle of the Sutter Basin, and the Karnak pumping facility is the thing that keeps the basin dry during the winter time, and it also helps protect the town of Robbins. For those of you that know, Robbins sits about 26 feet as the low point in the basin. So if Karnak goes down and we can't get it back up and running, then there's going to be an evacuation of the town of Robbins. Karnak is also was built in 1913. Those parts are no longer available, and so we have to manufacture a lot of our own pumping parts for this facility. And there's just another look, looking upstream at the Karnak facility. And then again, as you can see, we border the Sutter bypass, and so that is pumping into the Sutter bypass. You can see what it looked like this January. Again, this facility built in 1913. Those pumps right there, those 6 individual pumps are all 800 horsepower motors, so that have no generator backup. So when we do lose power, that whole facility goes down just like it did on New Year's Eve of this year. And 2 of the other house facilities are there. The second big point is a multi-benefit point where we can increase our environmental presence. Here in the Sutter bypass, we can grow food for people in the spring and summer. In the fall time, we have some of the greatest area for the Pacific Flyway going through the Sutter Basin there. And in the wintertime, we are now growing fish food. I know that's not a crop that we can monetize yet, but it is something that we're doing to help juvenile salmon as they're making their migration out, especially the endangered winter run. Again, just some more waterfowl habitat that we all have grown to love here in Sutter County. And a great area for shorebird habitat as those fields fluctuate in drainage. A modernized Karnak would allow us to keep the water on the land longer, not only to help with some groundwater recharge in some spots, but also all these environmental benefits that I'm showing you here. And here's, most of us see this as a decomp rice field, but also it has a second benefit of fish food, working with UC Davis Center for Watershed Sciences and Cal Trout. We are able to grow zooplankton in these fields and return that to the river to give juvenile salmon a head start on their way back to the ocean. Again, we're out there sampling zooplankton, and you can see the cage boxes there in the back that actually have juvenile fish, so we can get a baseline and see how much benefit we're doing. And probably the most important part and why I'm up here is to keep working lands working in the Sutter Basin. A lot of us grew up here, our roots are in agriculture, and that is the third benefit that we really believe in here in RD 1500 is to be able to keep working lands working, farmers farming. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. I promised I'd keep it under 5 minutes though, so you guys got about a minute.
Supervisor Conant.
Yeah, thank you, Roger. Thank you for your presentation. The juvenile salmon benefits is actually enormous when you figure the water from the river and where it doesn't have the zooplankton in it versus this water, and the fish growth is dramatic as well. You might want to talk about that, Roger, about how much bigger the fish get in the river versus what they, I mean, not where they get stay smaller in the river versus in the actual, in those pens that you showed.
Yeah, so thank you, Supervisor Conant, to that. I was going to put that slide in there. Oh. We are growing fish about 150 times bigger than a fish that gets released and stays in the river. If they can get a floodplain experience, get off either into a rice field or get food from the rice field, we're seeing growth anywhere from 150%, and the lowest growth we've seen is about 10%. So, you know, it's a tremendous benefit of getting all this zooplankton back to the river, and zooplankton is just a fancy name for prime rib for fish. So.
Thank you, Roger, and thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? No questions?
Oh, I would like to add one thing that Neil and I went down, what was it, 4 months ago? And unfortunately, it just turned the pumps off that morning. Every time I go there to see the plant, the pumps aren't running. But that's a good thing. But if anybody would, and you guys have, I don't know if you ever offer tours of that, it's pretty incredible infrastructure built in the early 1900s, 1913, right?
Yes.
And it's pretty incredible. The walls are, I think, 32 inches thick. It's designed to hold the water back if the basin ever flooded and the pumps went down. The water wouldn't get into the pumps. Pretty incredible infrastructure for built, you know, 110 years ago.
110 years ago, yeah. No, if anybody, any of the supervisors or anybody would like a tour, please contact me, and we'll get that arranged for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Call for a motion.
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmeyer? Aye. Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Item 16.
Approval of a renewal independent contractor agreement with Shirley Consulting in an amount not to exceed $45,000, effective retroactive to March 24th, 2023, and ending on December 31st, 2023, for work related to the implementation of the Sutter Point Specific Plan. Authorization to waive the request for proposals under the provisions of Sutter County Ordinance Code Section 16-050, and authorization for the Director of Development Services to execute all contract documents.
Good afternoon, Chair and Supervisors. So Neil Hay from Development Services. So the county and my department contracted with Carol Shirley of Shirley Consulting back in, June of 2018 to assist us with the implementation of the Lakeside to Sutter Point development. As you may know, the project has a staff funding agreement such that the developers are responsible for reimbursing the county for the work of all consultants and all county staff that work on the project. So her assistance has been with the implementation of the maps, processing some of the land use changes. And subsequently, her contract was set to expire in March 24th of 23. Prior to that, myself, I consulted with the builders to see if they were still interested in continuing her services for some period of time while we continue to process aspects of the Lakeside development. They agreed that they were, so we brought this matter before your board as an extension through the December of 23. And it's a contract amendment that would be once again reimbursed by the builders, the developers, and the amount would go to $45,000. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Supervisor Flores.
Just move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmeyer? Aye. Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye. Motion carries.
Authorizations to revise the fiscal year 2022 through 23 roadwork plan in the amount of $198,000 for pavement repairs to Sawtell Avenue from Everglade Road to State Route 113 and on Everglade Road at the Feather Water District Culvert, approximately 1.5 miles east of State Route 113. Authorization for the Director of Development Services to execute contracts in compliance with Ordinance Code Section 1, Chapter 27, Public Project Bidding Procedures per the county's informal bidding requirements. Approval of an increased purchasing limit for tie cart materials / rock products from $125,000 to $250,000. Approval of an increased purchasing limit for more trucks from $50,000 to $75,000. Direct the Development Services Department to prepare a modification to the Grow West use permit 2100 Everglade Road, APN 25-130-056, to include a road haul fee agreement per section 1137-080, commercial hauling of the county's ordinance code, and direct the Development Services Department to prepare a pipe replacement template agreement for execution with the various water companies and reclamation districts in the county.
Once again, Neil Hay from Development Services. There's a few slides in your staff report that maybe I'll bring some attention to help illustrate what happened in District 5 for maybe those that have not visited the site. So this first picture is essentially an aerial of the culvert. So this is Everglade Road. It's about 1.5 miles east of State Route 113. And this is a 48-inch corrugated metal pipe about 45 feet long that failed in the middle of the roadway. If you go to the next picture. So this is what it looked like after, actually on January 2nd, this damage occurred. So we essentially closed the road and have left it closed until that time. Back in March, early March of this year, we were contacted by representatives from Grow West. They have a facility just west of here, and come to find out that they utilize this section of Everglade Road to go east to Sawtell, to go south to then Wilson Road to go east to 99. Our department was unaware of that. What happens is that they bring in certain chemicals to process them and then produce finished goods that then they ship out. Turns out they ship out 1,260 trucks in about 6 weeks, which is a fairly significant amount of haul traffic. So with that, our department reached out to the Feather Water District. They've contracted with a contractor that was going to do the work to replace the pipe. So the estimate that was put together includes about $198,000 of road work to occur. So there's $8,000 for the pipe. Your staff report includes all these numbers, but just to review them, we included $40,000 to grind Sawtell Road, which is, if we go to maybe the next slide. So Sawtell Road goes from Everglade north to 113. So we're essentially trying to develop a better haul route because Wilson Road, which is just south of here, has another failed pipe. And so we didn't want to send more truck traffic there. They say Grow West recommends that they're going to be hauling trucks in probably 2 to 3 more weeks with the timing of the ag planting season. So we were looking to develop a haul road to get their trucks to and from the plant and to the state highway. So by grinding an inch off of Sawtell Road and then county road crews would pave it back with an inch thick. The state's public contract code allows county road crews to pave an inch thick and not any thicker than that. So we include $120,000 for asphalt. We include $20,000 for the trucking. And then we have corresponding increases in buying the materials through Tiger Materials and from more trucks to haul those materials to the site. And then finally, we include $10,000 for striping and reflectors on the roadway. So that works out to $198,000 that we wanted to amend this year's, the current fiscal year 22-23 road plan and seek your board's approval of that. Subsequently, there's 2 other recommended actions for your board's consideration. So one is essentially developing a haul road fee agreement for Grow West for commercial hauling. So the county's ordinance includes a provision where if you are doing concentrated commercial hauling on a designated route, then my department calculates what a road maintenance fee would be so that the county would recover the cost of maintenance on a 10-year to 20-year cycle. We currently have that for some other ag facilities, and we certainly have it for some other commercial facilities. The most recent one, the most recent one to come before your board was CMEX. So that's an action you can direct or not direct our department to proceed with. And then their other item is a pipe replacement process that there are, I think I previously mentioned to your board, there's some around 130 culverts that go underneath county roadways of various diameters. Some are used for irrigation, some are used for drainage. Some the county owns because the county put them there. Some belong to maybe water purveyors, either a reclamation district or a water company. And so there's been an informal process where the county, my department, would reimburse the water company for the cost of the pipe, and then they would do all the work. And it would be a matter, there are some legal aspects as far as the water code as to responsibility, which always seems to kind of come up. And then there's also what was there first, whether it was the canal, the ditch, or the county roadway. So once again, it's something that your board's discretion that you could choose to direct our department to develop a template, reach out to the affected water companies, reclamation districts, and then bring it back before your board. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
So I guess my first question is that why is this before us if the work started being done? My understanding is you guys are halfway through the project. What are we doing here?
So we're actually not, one, we've only done the prep work, and yes, we've started on the asphalt pavement, which I'll say was within the allowance of the existing road plan. But to proceed and to do all of the work, we're seeking your board's approval of the modification to the road plan, and then additionally the spending of the increase on rock materials and for the trucking.
So I've asked for, I guess, a number of constituents or I guess community members have reached out with concerns on similar road projects in their districts or in their neighborhoods or whatever, and was told that all those proposed projects are going to come before us in May, that we're going to put like a wish list together and that we're going to go from there. But this got immediate attention and work's been done there. And how much money have we already spent before it even come in before the board?
At this point, we spent $25,000 for grinding of the roadway and about $20,000 on asphalt, which is essentially within my authority as the Director of Development Services and the Public Works Director. To go to your point about the other roadways, yes, my department has been working tirelessly to develop the fiscal year 23-24 road plan. It lists a wide variety of roads, some that would be considered low volume residential roads that we are proposing maintenance overlays by the county road crew. Some are existing pavement that would be overlaid by the county's crew, and some are existing gravel roads that would be paid by the county's maintenance crew. We've developed cost estimates for those items, and essentially also doing the type of work on this road segment today is kind of proof of concept and proof of the value of the road crew to be able to do this work. We essentially have done a cost estimate that we're for materials and such is far more efficient than utilizing a contractor, and the responsiveness of the county's road crew. We were able to essentially put this together in less than 2 weeks due to the concerns that the company Grow West raised about having their trucks, both their trucks and customers' trucks, driving on either a state highway system and going through intersections at 113 and Everglade. Like I said, it was something that, and it's the reason why it's included in your staff report as a recommendation, is that so they applied for a use permit in 2020. Yeah, they applied for a use permit in 2020 to add a building and add a 22,000 gallon tank. In that application, they estimated 4 heavy-duty trucks per day and made no allowance, and they didn't essentially allude to the fact that they have this type of concentrated truck traffic. So it essentially caught our department by surprise, and consequently we tried to put together a very cost-effective and efficient manner to respond and essentially restore the deliveries to support ag in the county.
Through the chair.
Yes, go ahead.
This road alone affects over 100 growers in that area. And one aspect of it all is safety, public safety. And one thing that just started, if you notice all the tractors started to move last week, there's going to be a lot of implements moving up and down. And if that road's not open, you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff, minimum 18 feet, some up to 32 feet wide, going up and down 113 and doing about 22 miles an hour.
They're trying to get to 113.
Well, they don't want to go down. They want to go, this road right here is an easier path. And that's one thing that the growers have, I've had many calls over this, and it's the same thing what we did in trying to implement when we opened up Pass Road in the Buttes. Same thing. Growers having to go get on Highway 20. But like I said, this is a road that needs to be repaired as soon as possible and opened up so those growers can get from field to field an easier path.
Through the chair.
Supervisor Conant.
So, Neil, one thing that you did sort of allude to the fact that that's processing Grow West processing facility that Grow West has. They take anhydrous ammonia, gaseous pressurized gas liquid, and they truck that in and then turn it into aqua by adding water. And that's what the farmers use when they plant rice fields is aqua and other fields too. And it's critical they have that. They have the infrastructure there to process that product, and they got to be able to get the product in there and out of there safely. And they were very concerned about 113 and the fact that when you bring an anhydrous truck in, if somebody was to hit that truck, it could be very dangerous. And that's one reason why we wanted to get this job done quickly. Public safety.
Through the chair.
Supervisor McCully.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I completely agree with these guys. We need to get this done right away. Quick question for you. This might be a little bit of a misdirection, but I know we've talked a little bit about the study that's being done on possible trucking sites and state trucks and things of that nature. Have they consulted with you at all or asked for the county's input in that study? And if not, because we just had a very good meeting with Mr. Benapal at Caltrans about what his opinion is of where we probably should put some of these trucks. So I just wonder if they're taking into consideration all of the traffic that's going to this facility.
So the consultants were studying essentially 5 locations. They actually provided a draft 5. So they provided a 96-page draft study document to my department. So myself and our new principal engineer are reviewing it, or principal planner, are reviewing it. And they studied the 99-113 location specifically that was previously identified by your board as a location for maybe siting truck facilities. So we expect to bring that before your board in probably the second meeting in May and have a discussion. And should your board adopt it, approve it, then we'll move forward with it.
Okay, thank you very much.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmeier?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Approval of an advanced step request from the Health and Human Services Department, Children's Services Branch, Child Welfare Services to hire a social services program manager at step 7.
Good afternoon, Chairman and all the members of the board. Veronica Baumgardner, Interim HR Director. Today, we're asking for an advanced step request for the program manager for child welfare. As you know, recruitment is a little tough right now, and we really feel like this candidate, offering them a competitive salary in this market is really important. Not only does this candidate have extensive experience in child welfare, but they have a master's degree in marriage, family, child therapy. They have over 15 years experience in a related field and 10 years experience in this field of child welfare. This is a really high liability and high risk, very tough position. I spoke with some of the department a couple weeks ago when we were, recruiting for this position, and it's very hard, mentally taxing position. And this candidate was well and beyond the other candidates. And he has many years, like I said, experience and working in a nearby county and supervisory level position. And so they have requested a higher step to be able to come over and, try to avoid a significant pay cut. There is no fiscal impact to the general fund. And any questions?
Through the chair.
Supervisor Ziegler.
For those out in the crowd, behavioral health, what are we down? I believe 29%? 21%. Behavioral health. It's a big deal. All right? And this is, sad to say, last month I was one of those votes to wait for the budget, but, when this is behavioral health and what the effects of the well-being of our community and our children and the parents out there, I'm more than willing to do whatever it takes to bolster this one up here, especially with everything that's gone on in our community over the last few weeks. So I'll be one to make a motion to approve.
I'll second that as well.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McCully?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmeier?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 19, follow-up reports and announcements.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and Supervisors. Just two quick things. We have a budget workshop this Thursday here in the chambers at 6 p.m. So we'll have a presentation from County Administrative Office staff going over our budget development process thus far and giving an update and looking for feedback from the board on that. And then also last week, several of us attended the CSAC Legislative Conference. There was a meeting of the Association of Cities, League of California Cities, with CSAC, which is the State Association of Counties, on homelessness. Our Assemblyman Gallagher was there as part of the panel. It was a great discussion that occurred there, and there's a lot of valuable workshops, able to connect with folks in different industries, including those in the, say, the hospital industry and various colleagues throughout the state. So just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 20. Are there any correspondence? There is a correspondence. Just showed that it's been received.
Yes.
All right, then we're going to move on to the current board and commission, to reports, district reports. We'll start at District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing to report.
Supervisor Connor?
Nothing. Thank you.
Supervisor Ziegler?
I'd like to close in memory of Michael Bacchus, 89 of Yuba City, and my Aunt Dorothy Ziegenmeier Lemonager, who passed away a few months ago, and Autumn Estes, 14. I'd like to do that one from the board. She was a young lady from Linda area. Yeah. And a couple things I'd like to have staff to work on is, this is one thing that I believe it's all been on our priority list, is some sort of slogan, something we can get out there, something like, hey, when do you want to start? Something that, we're all about, hey, we're ready to rock. We got two of my colleagues right here that are kicking rear down in Sacramento with SACOG and CSAC, and we need the infrastructure. We need staff to put it in overdrive and work on those grants for a treatment plant and so forth, so we can, well, our levy especially, but like I said, we do have areas in the unincorporated areas that are out of a FEMA flood zone that we can build on. And until we get a treatment plant, we can't build on those. And with staff working on some other areas that we're working on with the rezoning process that makes sense along the Highway 20 corridor that we could build on. Work on staff looking into, like my colleague over there talked about, the truck stops and so forth, and being able to put those truck stops in those FEMA flood zones. We just have to, there's got to be a way that we could, they allow an ag building, but they won't, you can't have a truck stop or a truck parking without some sort of building to repair your trucks. And that's where we hit the stop sign right there. They said, hey, you guys can't build that. So if there was somehow, some way that, you know, there was some sort of shop design that had vents for the water to flow out or something, or if people self-insured their properties, or somehow being able to sign something where, hey, I'm self-insured on this if something were to happen. Because like Mr. McKelly said, you have that two-door area that we cannot build on. And no one's going to raise it up 15, 16 feet to put a truck parking in. But it makes great sense because you have 130, you pulling onto the 99 there on the overpass. So those are a few things that I'd like to see done.
Thank you. Supervisor Flores.
I'm kind of liking the Ready to Rock. You know, I think we'd stand out with that one. Maybe that's the one where, Steve, we're going to direct you to make Ready to Rock our slogan. Yeah. Yeah, you're a drummer, Steve. See, it's his birthday, so we should make him drum, right? So I just want to wish Mr. Steve Smith the happy 20th birthday again. So happy birthday, Steve. The fact that you survived all of us these many years, I congratulate you for that. And then I also want to ask the staff or board to consider presenting a certificate of recognition to Octavio Perez and his wife Alma, the owners of Marcelo's restaurant for the last 18 years. I'd like to have that certificate presented next meeting or as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I didn't mean to. Can I mention one comment? Is that okay?
That's all right.
Okay. I forgot to mention. I'd like to ask to just maybe as we get into May or the end of May for one of our later meetings there, to also make a proclamation for the Yuba-Sutter stand down. Mike and I are very active, and we have on May 20th the fundraiser, excuse me, for them. And so it'd be nice if we could bring all the volunteers in there. And so just wanted to make that comment. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have a couple letters of sympathy and condolences to go out. One to the family of Leslie LaChance Thornton for her passing, the family of Charn Pearl and Nancy Harville. We get letters sent out to those families. And I'd also like to, again, wish our CAO Steve Smith a happy birthday. I just want to thank you for everything that you do and wish you the absolute best and wish you many, many more. But if we could actually get a letter from the county signed by everybody just wishing him a happy birthday. And if we could close today, if we could close this meeting in his honor, it's, yes.
Through the chat.
All right, okay. And then, sorry, I'm not done yet. I have a couple more things. So last Friday, I had the honor and privilege to attend the Sheriff's Employees Dinner. And we have an honorary member of the Sheriff's Department here. We have Mr. Sergeant Zachary Berg, who actually received the Peace Officer of the Year Award. So congratulations.
Former Sutter Husky.
Yeah, no, congratulations once again. But I would actually like to formulate a letter of recognition to go out to each of the recipients. Zachary Berg for again being the Peace Officer or Sergeant, the Peace Officer of the Year, the non-sworn employee Tabitha Lopez, the Correctional Officer Andrew McFarland, and Volunteer of the Year was Brittany Drover. And I just want to again thank you guys for everything that you do. We are so thankful and grateful for the entire department and every employee, but we want to celebrate you guys on that recognition. So if we could have something drawn up for each of them individually, I'd really appreciate that. And then also the month of May 4th is going to be International Firefighters Day. So obviously I'd like everybody to take time out of their schedules to thank firefighters for everything that they do to keep our community safe. And also if we could have a letter of recognition or proclamation drawn up to be presented to our chief and to their department. I don't think I have anything else at this point. Supervisor Ziegermeyer wanted to add something else?
Well, I just, one group that got left out yesterday is very instrumental in Broken Sword was our Sutter County Sheriff's Department. And I mean, it's a team effort. I mean, you look at all those involved, that was pretty amazing right there. And the amount of work you all put in, and especially from such a late notice, hey, we're going in on this, and okay, we'll be ready. We're ready to go. So nice job, great work. I'd like to send a letter out to our Assemblyman James Gallagher and thank him for his work with fentanyl awareness in the community, especially. They had that news conference this morning at the Capitol, which I don't know if any of you were able to make it. I couldn't make it. We're too many meetings, but it's a big deal. The fentanyl use in this area is just growing, and luckily we have great people that are working hard and to curb it and to see the numbers go the opposite way, especially in Sutter County and Yuba County. So thank you for all your hard work, and thank you to our Assemblyman James Gallagher for his hard work. Thank you.
All right, thank you. There's nothing else that would like to need a motion?
Second.
So moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmeyer?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at PlumasLakeSelfStorage.com.